Welcome to another video. I am the Starman and welcome to the Starbus. I am here in the Starbus, yeah, the famous Starbus, and I've actually been living in here. This has been my home for the last 5 days. I'm down in Cornwall at the moment and I'm doing quite a lot of astrophotography. I've got really lucky with the weather as well. Yeah, it's a really nice weather. I chose the right time to come down, but I was going to come down here anyway in May because it's the good time of the year to capture the Milky Way. But the problem is that where I live up in Blackpool, we have the twilight now at this time of year, whereas down here on the south coast they don't get the twilight until they get into June. So that's why I've come down here. And not only that, but there's really dark skies down here, and I've been doing some videos for you while I've been down here. I've done a couple of videos already. St Michael's Mount, you might have already seen those if I put them out already. And I've also done a video over at Cannon's Cove, absolutely epic locations. Anyway, in this video I want to tell you a little bit about why I bought this camera here. It's the Panasonic Lumix S5II, and I did an unboxing on this a couple of months ago when I first bought it, and I just want to explain a little bit about why I decided to buy this. It's a nice camera, isn't it? And why I decided to buy this when I've already got a Nikon D850. Now, I've been using the Nikon system for 35 years. 1988 was the first time I bought a film camera. It was a Nikon it wasn't the digital, it was a Nikon F801, and I progressed from there, from film, and I got some better cameras, and then I ended up getting a digital one, and I ended up with this, a D850. But these are two very different beasts, aren't they? I mean, this camera here it's a fully professional camera. It's built like a tank. You can take it to the North Pole, you can take it on an expedition, and it's a cracking camera, and it's an all-rounder. It can do anything. Whereas this one, a little bit lighter, it's a mirrorless camera as well, whereas a Nikon is a DSLR. It has a flippy up mirror. This one doesn't have a mirror, and it's much lighter. Now, I'm not sure how this would cope in the North Pole. It's a little bit more of a prosumer camera than a professional camera like that one. So they're both very different beasts. I'm not trying to compare the two cameras, but what I am doing is I want to try and see if I can I want to try and see if I can lighten the load a little bit and move on to a system that's lighter. And moving to a mirrorless system kind of makes sense because everybody's moving to mirrorless now. They're getting rid of the flippy up mirror, you know, the mirror that flips up when you take a picture. And that's the main reason why I chose a mirrorless camera, because it was inevitable that I was going to have to get a mirrorless. But why did I choose Panasonic when I could have moved up from this? I could have moved up to the Nikon Z series, because they do their own mirrorless system, which is very good. The Nikon Z6, Z7, and they've got some cracking cameras. And you know, there's no shortage of cameras. Now, there's a few reasons why I didn't move to the Nikon Z series, or Z series if you're watching it in the United States. There's a couple of things. One of the things that this might seem a little bit minor, but you see on the back of this camera here, can you see how it has a flippy out screen? You see that there? You can flip that out. If I turn it on, and hopefully you'll see something come on. You might see me. Can you see me? I'll probably look like a silhouette, but there you go. That's the thing, and you can actually turn that round. Can you see if I took it the wrong way there? You can turn it round. Can you see? I'm filming this with the iPhone 12. Can you see? Can you see yourself in the viewfinder there? There you go. You might be able to see it now. There you go. So so that's it. You see, I mean that's one of the reasons. It's just one. It might seem a very minor thing, but the Nikon Z series, the one I was looking at, the Z6 or the Z7, they're slightly different megapixels. One of them has more megapixels. Very small cameras, mirrorless cameras, very similar to this one, but the screens on the Z series didn't do what this one does. They don't flip out the side, so I can't look at the screen. I can't look at the camera and see myself on the screen. You can't do it with those cameras. The only way you can get around it is to have like a screen on the top, but that's just another thing to go on the camera, and I think it's much more handy for me doing vlogs to have a camera that has a flippy out screen and one that I can flip round to the front like that and see myself on the so I can see myself when I'm talking to the camera like that. So that's one point. Now that might seem a little bit of a, that's probably secondary to being quite honest. I think one of the main reasons why I bought this camera is the video capability. The video capability of this camera is absolutely amazing. It does so many things on the video front. It's probably the best video camera, best type of video on a camera in its class. This cost around £2,000 for the body only. I've got a 20 to 60mm lens on it. This is like a kit lens. I'll talk about that in another video. But the body only was £2,000, and it has a pretty awesome array of video modes. It can shoot in log, it can shoot in all types of different modes for editing and all that sort of thing. And also, not only that, but this camera here has phase detection AF for video, which the Nikon cameras I was looking at don't have, and a lot of other cameras in this price range do not have that phase detection AF, and that was another, in fact that was one of the main reasons why I bought this camera. The thing I'm looking to do is, can I possibly change over to the Panasonic system, and can I do away with the Nikon? I can't keep them both. I don't think I can afford to keep them both. I really don't. I think I'm going to have to sell all my Nikon system if I'm going to go with this, really. I've got them both at the moment, but I don't think I can really afford to keep on to both. It's too much money, and it's two different systems as well. You know, which camera do you pick up? I'd rather have one system that does everything. Now, at the moment, I've got a 20 to 60 on here. I've got another lens, an 18mm astro lens, which I'll talk about in another video, and I've also got on order a 70 to 300mm telephoto lens for this, and that will pretty much set me up with this system. But we'll have to wait and see. I'll give it another month or maybe so before I decide to see if I can sell this, or maybe it's a mistake. I mean, I don't know so far. So I say okay, I'll say so far I think I've done pretty well, and I'm pretty impressed with the way that this camera works. And so there you go. So we'll just have a little look around it. I'll show you. There's the top. It's very much traditional. It's got all the modes on there. Can you see? M for manual, A for aperture priority, shutter priority, and it also has custom modes as well, and a movie mode on there. This is the shutter button here for taking pictures or video. In fact, it has a video only record button there, you see. I'm just showing you around the camera there. It even has an air vent for the video for when it gets warm. It can do 4K 60, and it's really, I tell you, the quality of the video is really good. You've got the exposure compensation, ISO and white balance buttons, all very handy there for your fingers. On the other side are drive modes, single shot, multiple shot, and I'll tell you something else about this camera as well, and this is amazing. Okay, now the megapixels of this camera is 24. Compared to this one, this is 46. Now, that's a bit of a step down, isn't it, folks? A bit of a step down in megapixels. But this camera is capable of taking a 96 megapixel photo. Yeah, 4 times the native resolution. How does it do it? I'm not quite sure. Is it like a sort of sensor shift where it kind of dithers the sensor? I'm not quite sure. But it takes 4 pictures. Now, you can't do it with moving objects. To be fair, you can't do it with moving objects because you'll get something moving across the screen, but it can do 96 megapixels. I'm just going to do a demonstration for you now of the 96 megapixel mode. It's no gimmick, it's absolutely amazing. Okay, so I've come down here to the front and we've got St. Michael's Mount over there. I'll be showing you that in just a minute, but I want to show you the 96 megapixel mode on the Panasonic S5II. Let's check this out. I'll show you the camera now. I've got it down here, and I've got the lens set at 60mm. I'm using the 20 to 60 set at 60mm, and the aperture is f5.6, and this is the drive mode here. Normal drive mode. We're shooting at the native resolution of 24 megapixels, so I'm going to take a picture of that sign over there. Can you see that no dogs on the beach allowed sign? I think that would be a good test. It's got some very small writing on it, so let's take a picture there at the native resolution. Okay, so check this picture out. How does this look? Yeah, you can read the writing. You can read it okay, even the small print on the bottom. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. That's taken at the native resolution. But now I'm going to take another picture at the 96 megapixel mode. Okay, so I'm now going to select the 96 megapixel high resolution mode. So I need to turn this dial to this symbol here. And I'm now going to take the same picture again. Here we go. I don't know if you heard that, but it took 4 pictures very, very quickly, and it's now creating a high resolution image. I'm going to put that on the screen for you now to check it out. Okay, check this out. Look at this now. Can you see how much finer this looks compared to the other one? I'll switch back to the other one just so you can have a look. Switch back again. You can certainly see, you can certainly read that phone number near the bottom a lot clearer in the 96 megapixel mode. Let's try it again on St Michael's Mount, shall we? Okay, so I've come down to the beach, and what we'll do is we'll take a pot shot over towards St Michael's Mount, shall we? I'm going to focus on that white house down there, and what we'll do is we'll see, you see that white house there? We'll focus on that, and I'll take a shot in standard mode. I'll set it to standard mode there. Let's take a shot now, shall we? Right, I'll put that on the screen for you, and I'll zoom in a bit as well, just so it makes it easy to see. So, looks okay, doesn't it? Yeah, it's come out all right. I've cropped in quite a bit, you know, but it looks decent. Okay, now to switch it to 96 megapixel mode, and we'll see how much more detail we get in that house. Creating high resolution image. Okay, I'll put that on the screen now. Okay, check this out. Look at that. Oh, look at that. That definitely looks a whole lot sharper. What do you think? Yes, it really works, doesn't it? This 96 megapixel mode, I tell you what, it's certainly no gimmick. That's it. They're so much lighter than my other camera. I mean, my other camera weighs an absolute ton. It weighs twice as much as this one. And I need to lighten my load a little bit because I'm getting older and I'm struggling to carry around a lot of the equipment. Now, like I said before, they are both different beasts, you know, and they're both built differently. This one's probably a little bit more lightweight and it's probably not going to take the same kind of knocks. The lenses are also a lot lighter as well. They're so much easier to carry around for me. Anyway, that was the 96 megapixel mode, and we're going to head back to the Starbus now for the rest of the video. So there you go, what about that, eh? 96 megapixel mode. I didn't buy it for that, you know, but I'll tell you what, that is pretty good, isn't it? That is impressive. As long as you're not shooting a moving object or something's moving across the screen or anything like that, that 96 megapixel mode really works, doesn't it? And that's a bonus if you ask me. So I'll just show you the back. We've got the play button there up in the top left hand corner, which is where I'm used to having the play button on the Nikon, so that's good. And we've got, what else have we got? There's a display button there, there's a menu system. I need to get used to the menu system. There's a command dial here on the back, and there's also one around the shutter button which does your aperture or your shutter speed or whatever mode you've got it in. That changes all that sort of stuff. So there you go, that's a little look around. We'll have a look at the bottom. There's a tripod thing on there, of course, and I'll talk about the lenses in another video. So there you go, let's look around my camera, the Panasonic S5II. It could be my only camera now, or my only camera system going forward. It's a little bit scary actually, having to ditch my old camera. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the old system. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this camera. In fact, this one has been through everything. It's been to hell and back, this camera. It's had so much, it's been bashed around, and to be quite honest, I'm not sure if my Panasonic can take the kind of knocks that this one has. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm going to have to treat it with kid gloves. So there you go, that's a little look at the Panasonic S5II. I told you about why, the main reasons why I bought it. The phase detection AF, which is absolutely amazing. The video modes, to be able to shoot in log mode, is amazing. It even has a shutter angle mode, which is very kind of like professional. It's all to do with frame rates and all that sort of thing, and it's very the movie modes on it are really good. So yeah, and also the flippy out screen as well. Might seem a little bit minor because you can get a screen to go on it, but like I said, that's another thing to put on. It's another add-on, isn't it? And I would rather have the flippy out screen so I can see myself for selfies or for shooting myself. So there you go. I'm going to do another video on lenses, so look out for that. If it isn't out already, you might already be able to see that video. It's not be already on. I'll put a link to that in the description if it's already out. So there you go, that's my video on my new Panasonic S5II mirrorless camera. Will it be my new camera? My only camera that I use for everything, astrophotography, all that sort of stuff. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I hope you like this video, and don't forget to keep looking up.